Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and everybody has been asking me and each other and the sky and squirrels and everybody. People have been looking for an answer anywhere to the question, should they buy Ultimate Masters? And the answer is very complicated. Just kidding, it's not. It's no, don't buy it. I mean, I can't think of a reason to buy it other than you intend to open it and sell everything for a profit, which, I mean, are you really a customer at that point? And plus, even in that case, it's not guaranteed. I mean, if you were to open 100 boxes, you're guaranteed to make a profit. But at one or two boxes, boy, you could whiff hard on that. Like, for example, my two boxes I opened today. Well, I mean, I opened 7, but 2 of them were crap. So even opening it for the purpose of purely just making money and keeping the rest, not very smart. So for everybody else, you would buy it for what? Trade binder value, I guess? Is that a thing? Like trade fodder cards? Maybe? And that's kind of blind, and it's still like you don't really know what you want to get. I mean, if you want trade fodder stuff for your binder so that you always have people, wanting your stuff in your binder so you can actually make trades, just pick up some dual lands from Standard. Like, pick up some Shock lands, or pick up some Ixalan lands or something. Oh, I guarantee you people want those. Otherwise, the typical Birds of Paradise and just, whatever the most universal cards are. So doing this blind, I mean, the chances of you pulling enough worthwhile cards to be worth your money, and then you sit on them the whole time so your money's tied up, and then you're going to trade them away with somebody for cards you wanted, maybe just buy the cards you want. Just skip the whole shebang and just buy the singles. And that also goes back to why I don't think people should ever buy a reprint set. This reprint set isn't for you. It isn't for any of you, the customers, at all. It's for single sellers. I mean, if you're going to build a modern or a commander deck or anything like that, why would you open packs until you get the cards you want? I mean, in Standard, that's not even a good idea, and that's a very closed pool of cards. This whole set, this whole product, the whole point of a reprint set is to get them in the hands of the single sellers so that they can sell them to people, and they will. I mean, for people to be able to afford to play Modern and Commander mainly, the cards need to go down in price because at a lower price, more people will buy it. You'll get more people building more decks because the decks are more affordable and people only have a finite amount of money. So if Birds of Paradise goes from $12 down to like $3 because of reprint set, that's a little drastic. Not everybody wanted to drop, $48 on a playset of them, but maybe at $3, well, $12 for 4, I mean, sure. What if after aggressive reprint sets, like let's say, I don't know, 3 of them in a year and a half? Just make that number up out of thin air. What if after that, a whole deck went from like $1,000 down to like 200? Which that's a bit of a stretch. It would have to be pretty aggressive. That obviously did not happen. But how many people are building the deck for 1,000 just because they like it? They've got 1,000, they saved up, they built it slowly, cool. Or for 200 where they're just like, I got $200. I got a little Christmas bonus or extra this and that, extra job on the side. I skipped going to this, skipped the vacation. Like 200's a lot of damn money, but I mean, 1,000's a lot of money. I mean, you could get a crappy car for 1,000. So really, the whole point of this was make the singles available. Well, the singles aren't available if they're sitting in your bulk box or your trade binder. I mean, that's not available to the general public as a whole. So really, I think that most of these were supposed to end up in the hands of single sellers. And obviously card shops, too. I would consider them single sellers if they sell singles. So shop owners, like, reinflating their inventory with more staples so people can buy them in the future. If they have an upward trend over time after they get the initial hit from being reprinted, I mean, it's just smart. It's all around a good product for, the card kingdoms of the world all the way on down to the smallest LGS. So I have to go back to why the heck would you guys buy it? I mean, it doesn't make sense. You open one pack because you bought one pack or whatever, and you're like, oh, cool, this card, that's $50. I didn't need it for anything. I didn't want it for a deck. I mean, if you're one of those loose people where you're just like, oh, look, I pulled a Karn out of my prize pack from F&M. I'll throw them on my deck. I could use some, turn 4 card draw. Like, whatever, cool. I got a pack and I upgraded my deck with it. We're talking like old school 90s and early 2000s Magic, because that's how it was played back then. Like, that's cool, but, I mean, this is a reprint set for basically Modern. Like, who the hell does that for Modern? Oh, my perfectly constructed Merfolk deck. Oh, I just pulled a Noble Hierarch. I'm gonna throw a Noble Hierarch into it. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, Commander it kind of does, but even then... I mean, look through all the cards in the set still and be like, oh, those 3 cards are really good for Commander. Cool, they're half the price now because they've been reprinted. I'm going to buy those singles, not I'm going to open packs until I hit one and then add it to my Commander pool or whatever, my Commander deck. And you also don't say, well, I'm going to open 3 boosters and whatever I pull out of them is going to my Commander deck. Like, that's just weird. Like, I guess you could do that, but wouldn't it be better to just look at the singles and buy them? It's certainly more mathematically efficient. So in that sense, yeah, why would somebody buy them? And the answer is usually, well, okay, gambling. You know, it's a little bit of a, well, tipped your direction gamble. I mean, the packs are worth what, 1850 a piece on average with the EV, and they cost between 11 and 14. Good luck getting those odds literally anywhere else doing anything. I mean, it's if some people are like, I like to gamble with Magic cards, and people look down on it, you've got the edge. You've got an advantage. Like, yeah, you probably should, honestly. I mean, it's still gambling. You still could lose. But at least if you're going to do it for the financial and monetary rush of it, this is the way to do it, not scratch-offs, Powerball, or casinos. Unless, well, you treat casinos like I do, with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of math, and rip them off constantly. I don't count cards. I just take advantage of some of their compounding giveaways and some other certain things. But anyway, I mean, your average value or return for a box of UMA is like 60%, or I should say 160%. So honestly, that is a pretty legitimate reason. It's just be prepared to lose the money. I've had some really crappy boxes. And then remember, you still got to get rid of them. I mean, you're not going to sit there and sell them all for cash. You got to buy list them for what, 60, 70, 80%, or sell them yourself on TCG Player, which is time, effort, materials, and customer complaints claiming they, one, don't know where they live, or two, it didn't get there and they're just lying. Like, is it really worth the hassle? I mean, it's like, oh, cool, you pulled $800 worth of cards from it. Now what? You buy a list them at your LGS for 50%? It's only money if you're able to sell them for money. You know what I mean? But like I said, drafters, if you want to buy the set to draft it, cool. Just draft any other set because money's going to get in the way. I honestly don't think this is a good draft set at all, because if you pull a $100 card, I mean, almost any local gaming store does this, and if yours doesn't, suggest it. If you open a pack at the table and you're like, oh my gosh, like I paid, I don't know, $15 to get into the standard draft, and this is a $40 pack, there's multiple cards, or even just one card that's worth a ton of money in it, now what? I don't really want to draft this card, but I'm certainly not going to pass it to the person next to me. It exceeds the entire prize pool. Hello. They will let you buy another pack. They'll just let you keep that one, go get another pack, purchase it for, $3.99 or whatever, and open that and use that for your draft instead. That is the solution. But with this set, first of all, $14 boosters, and secondly, that's going to happen to a lot of boosters. The money honestly gets in the way. It's just so dumb. But unless, you draft with your friends, you buy the entire box, and they all give the cards to you when they're done. Like, okay, cool. So there are narrow usage cases for this, I guess. And boy, there's really not much else. I guess if you just like opening boosters because it's fun, then once again, why does it have to be this set? But if it's more exciting because of the money, but you also have absolutely no intention to break even, or like it's, I don't know, it would be like gambling, except you're going to keep all the cards anyway, but it's more exciting and fun if you pull the expensive cards, but they're all going in your binder anyway. I actually know people like that, believe it or not. I guess they think their binder's an investment, which, I mean, no. Like, that's weird, but I kind of get that. But other than that, why would somebody buy this? It comes down to, if you're just like, oh, it's fun, it's a new product, I want it, it's shiny, some of my favorite characters in it. Those are usually just what you're telling yourself. It's really just about, hey, I want to pull the $200 card or whatever. 180 is the highest you could pull out of an actual pack. Oh, single card, I should say. You could probably end up with close to 300. Wait, no, okay, it would be Lily and then that one blue foil. So 180 plus what, 75, 80? So anyway, yeah, when people say, I just like cracking boosters, it's fun, it's just gambling. That's the fun. They just don't want to say it. But let's just assume for a second that I haven't conceived of something. I haven't thought of everybody's scenario, everybody's motivations. Let's say you do have a reason. Because up until now, I've only said, like, is there a reason that I think people should buy it? But let's say the answer is yes for you personally. Then, should you buy it in a more general sense? Is it a good buy? Well, this is the part of the video that you've all been waiting for, because there's a lot of ways to approach this, and I have a lot of important information about this. So the lowest I saw these for was 250, 255, 260, 265, around there, from 4 different sources up to about a month ago. People were pre-selling it. We had Mass Drop, which are a bunch of dicks. We had Sports and More. I hope that guy drops dead. Let's just say there's some private Facebook groups out there that can clear them for pretty damn cheap, because it's interstate, so they don't charge sales tax, and they don't have to dick around with eBay fees. Not saying I'm in them or anything. I'm just saying I know they exist. Actually, I'm specifically saying I'm not in them, because I'm not. Just one of my friends dicks around with a lot of that. So that was the cheapest you possibly could get them from if you couldn't go to a distributor, and they're about $200 ish, like 197 to 205 ish at the distributor. Unless you're Rudy and you wanted to pay 210 to get more than somebody else and basically steal them out of the pocket of actual LGSs. Thanks, Rudy. I guess that's why your name isn't Politey. Boy, that was a real gem. That was probably the dumbest joke on my entire channel, and I have like 1,700 videos. You should definitely not go repeat it in his comment section and be like, hi, Politey. No, definitely don't do that. So anyway, would you have made out like a bandit if you bought them for that? Hell yes. Even a 265 pre-sale on eBay. Oh my gosh, yes. Assuming they didn't cancel your order, yes. So what were they last week? Well, last week they were about 275, I think. That was the absolute lowest that I saw them considering shipping and stuff. This is all, by the way, US dollars and America only. And boy, earlier today, 280 was, I think, the cheapest you could get it. Now there's a couple floating in around like 270, depends upon where you live and stuff. And some of them are putting like local pickup. That's just weird. But if you even just ignore like the bottom couple, boom, you're at 290, 300. I mean, there's very few people and very few individual products selling for under 290. And like I said earlier today, it was 280 and I think it was briefly 290 until some people lowered the prices. So considering the sheer volume pre-sold and the amount of volume right now that people are putting at not so conservative, very liberal prices, I think that by Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, it's not going to go down. A lot of people will get them in Wednesday or Thursday. They will list them or prepare to list them Friday. There's a little bit of a dip, but I think that so many people pre-sold them because they thought it would be bad, and a lot of people are going to hold them because they think they'll go up, which they're probably right, that a lot of people just put them at 300. In fact, Channel Fireball's eBay store is at $299.99. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good price. So it's all going to come down to supply. So when it comes to will it go up or will it go down, is this a good time to buy, like right now, which is the context of this video? Probably, yeah. I mean, even paying, what, $275, $280? I would, yeah, if you wanted it, if it's the product for you. Well, even in the context of I'm going to buy 4 boxes and sit on them for a year and see what happens, oh, this set's going to go up. I mean, that's not even maybe. These cards, this is every valuable card ever, and they're going to cut down on reprints in the future, it would seem. So, yes, this is the automatic good investment, and buying into it below MSRP, yeah, I would. Also, in both cases, I have absolute confirmation as of like 48 hours ago that distributors everywhere are completely sold out of this. Now, completely sold out means they have like a pallet, like at least, but that's their private stash. They maybe sell it later, or, you know, they do what they do. Everybody knows all the shady shit that they get up to at the distributors. Okay. It's a thing, but it's how they make money. They're under no obligation to sell 100% of it to the customers. I think they probably legally are. They just don't do it. I heard it's a percentage-based contract with Wizards. Like 95% of it has to go to the end customers, and if you want to hang on to 5%, that's your own damn business, and then sell it on the side later with a different name. I guess you can do that. I don't know. But sparing that little exception, they are out. There is not, like, they're out and people are calling and they're still out. In fact, they've been out for a while now. I mean, obviously since they did allocation, because allocations are allocations, but remember, there are certain products like M19 that never sold out. They got through with their allocations, which is giving people what they wanted or cutting it down if there's not enough to go around, and then they had some more to go around. Not this time and not by a long shot. They ran out of this damn quick. Just because I got the amount that I ordered does not mean that there's enough to go around. So mine is really fair. They usually do it chronologically. If you get your order in 2 weeks before somebody else, tough nuts. They're going to give 100% of what I asked for to me because I was early enough. And the person who showed up late, they'll just get what's left over. So if they say they want 12 and they're like, well, we can only really give you 3 because you put your order in so late because now you've already seen the spoilers. Oh, well, we're sending you 3. I mean, it is what it is. But to me, the sound of it was it got real thin, real quick. Stores weren't touching it, but single sellers were, which is the correct way that this product is suited for. And now, oh my gosh, they're gone. So will Wizards do a second print run of this? At $280 a box below MSRP? No, I don't think they will. But, I mean, EMA was above MSRP either at or shortly after release. So if that's what happens here and we're starting to see $350 a box, you can virtually guarantee that in a couple weeks there will be a second wave of these. And even if you ask Wizards right now, is there going to be a second wave? They would say we don't know, because they don't know. I mean, maybe they have the print volume and they can kind of get a little bit of an idea from the distributors, but I don't think that they make the decision quite this early when it's not even technically released yet. I think they look at the secondary market value, and if it's too high, they're like, we need some of that value. And also, let's say they get to 400 a box, which is, it could happen, honestly. They could see that and say to themselves, well, we could print it until it's back at 300, because 300 is pretty reasonable. We could print off another 50,000, it would probably be. Send them out, and okay, devalues it a little bit, but it wouldn't just utterly crash it like Eternal Masters, where the second wave just destroyed everything. But I mean, EMA was propped up by what, like 6 good cards that were all absolute jackpots, and the rest was complete garbage? If those couple cards get devalued, which they will, because they're the only cards anybody gives a crap about, so they're the only ones hitting the market, there goes. I mean, you add a couple too many of those, and there goes the EV, it's gone. This one has all the good cards and so many $8, $9, $10, $11, and $12 rares, which those all were pretty much across the board $20 cards or so, and they've dropped to this price. So they can't all go that much lower because there's just so many. There's such a high variety. It's not just these couple little pillars, that, if they get, too many of those printed, then the whole thing collapses. No, it's a solid foundation in the set. That's why it's such a good investment set. I mean, the thing is, even for an investment, or just is it the best time to get the best price on this, even if they do a second wave and it goes back to 250, 255, something like that on eBay, which is about the lowest it could go. I mean, well, 240 is the lowest it could go, because after shipping and fees, that's pretty much $3 profit or something like that. Even if that happened, I mean, okay, then you just wait 2 years instead of 1 year, and the price of this is back up to 400 a box or 350 or just whatever. Like, it will go up, so it's just right now today, if you paid 280 a box, 275, whatever, and then there was a reprint and it hit 255 or 245, is that really the biggest difference? Even percentage-wise, it's not the end of the world. Now, people who paid like $285 for Eternal Masters the day of release, and then there was a second wave and they crashed to like, what, 170? They got screwed. I mean, they got absolutely just destroyed. But unlike that one, this one isn't going to drop that far, and also it could rise a lot quicker, a lot more reliably and predictably. So as far as value is concerned, is this the best time to buy? No, that was 2 weeks ago, but you're still kind of in the green here. It's still a pretty good time to buy. And I think after about Saturday, it's not going to be. Because remember, the only thing that's going to push this down is either everybody flooding their boxes online, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's going to be pretty popular, at local stores. I think it's going to be pretty popular just everywhere. People are going to want it. It has a positive reputation. It's on Japanese paper. Everything's looking up. Everybody kind of wants this. So if it's distributed and everyone wants it instead of just a couple people want it, it's going to sell pretty quick, and people are not going to feel the need, especially store owners, to throw it on the secondary market and just fire sale it. Just get rid of it. Like, oh my God, nobody wants this. It has bad reputation. Iconic and Masters 25. We need to get this out of our store. We got 12 boxes. Let's keep 2 and throw 10 on the internet. Boom, just sell them. If everybody does that, yeah, the price goes down because everybody undercuts each other by $1, and soon it's $50 cheaper. That's exactly what happens. And people are more inclined to do this whole race to the bottom thing because they're like, okay, you know what? I'll even take a $5 loss on the box, because if I don't, we can't get rid of these, and then I take a 100% loss on the box. Like, if I can't sell these now, I can't sell them ever. I'm not going to get stuck with them. Let's just jump ship and take the damage. Well, even if it was like, oh, we got $15 profit, I could live with $13 profit. Boom, they drop it $2 more because they're like, I'm scared that I'm going to get stuck with this. I should be happy to be making a profit at all. This is lukewarm at best, if not terrible. I mean, that's been the last couple Masters where people just say, screw it. Well, let's go to Monday. Okay, everybody sold their pre-orders. They filled them. They're down to what they're down to. They call up the distributor and they say, oh, hell no, we're out of this. Are you kidding me? We got nothing. Nope, don't even bother. We are sold out and change. You are 100th in the waiting list. Don't hold your breath. So then they're like, okay, the boxes we have in our store are the last boxes we're ever going to see ever, unless there's a reprint, which I wouldn't count on it. Okay, maybe don't be so quick to undercut somebody by $1 on eBay, because that sounds like an upward trend, doesn't it? Especially with the quality of the cards in it. So now people aren't just aggressively just killing each other on price. They're like, it sells when it sells, It's worth money now, it's worth money later. There's no more of this. It's a good product. Even if they gotta hold something for 2 years, it's still a good product, and it always will be. So if that's everybody's opinion, you're not going to see enough of these to push the price down. It's that simple. When people thought, oh my God, every Master sucks, I'm going to order these and maybe get $15 profit. Cool, let's pre-sell them for $255. That was just with no knowledge of what's in it. We are not going to return to that. And I don't know if you saw the sheer volume of pre-orders just on eBay, but it was insane. It was in the like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 box range. And now the best thing is the customers are they're going to be getting them by like Tuesday or whatever, opening them, getting a ton of value out of them, and be like, wow, I spent, $260 on it and I pulled $500 worth of cards out of it and I sold them on a buy list for $300. I could afford another box, and then they go to buy even more. So the demand is huge. The supply is gone. It's literally gone. That's it. What we have right now is what we have, sparing a reprint. Reprints take time. So will the price be lower very slightly after release? I would honestly say no. I'd be surprised if even somebody has the balls to put it as $269, we'll say. I don't think people even go $269 after considering shipping. I think it'll always be $27 something. And I think it'll just continue to creep up from there. I think at a certain point, people will be like, well, okay, or they could just get the equivalent without the box topper at Walmart by buying a bunch of the triple packs, I guess. I mean, to do it that way is only about $279 a box. I mean, if you were to just buy 8 sets of 3 loose ones. That's kind of crap because you don't get a box topper, but I mean, it's also not $335, you know what I mean? But when even those start to run out, I mean, we could see within 2 months this thing hitting like $350 on up. I mean, it's possible. It depends upon just how many are sitting around that are available for sale that people are willing to sell. I'll tell you what, if an investor bought them for $255, $265, and they're $350, time to sell. I mean, you can't assume it'll go up forever. So now I guess I'll do the context of people who want to buy it specifically for the singles. They're purple core. They don't typically have a whole lot of misprints, which means, by the way, if you get a misprint from the set, it is worth a fortune. Potentially, because in Japanese packs, there are just so few of them. The printing on the outside of the boosters themselves look amazing. I mean, triple the quality of anything you'll find normally, I'd say, from America, not in America, because, well, here they are. From the crappy Texan place specifically, okay? No roller marks over them. And then the cards themselves, better ink, better color clarity, better contrast ratio, just everything. The cards are better. They're cut better. No corner problems, no asymmetric corners. They're going to grade higher if you're looking for high graded stuff. You like to take your expensive stuff, get it graded. Yes, absolutely buy this set. The booster plastic material itself is thicker, tougher, and more well sealed. So it's less likely to get counterfeited or resealed, I should say. More specifically resealed, because that glue feels completely different. I mean, they even don't smell as bad as other sets. Everything is superior about this product. So just from a quality standpoint, grading, curling, long-term storage, everything is an A+ on this set by far, just because it was made in Japan. And I don't mean that the Japanese are so great. I mean that it wasn't printed in Texas, that it was a printing company disregarding where they're from who actually gives a crap about quality and has modern equipment. I mean, honestly, I think even the Belgian one isn't that bad if they even still use it, which I think they don't. Not 100% sure though. So really the answer is yes and no. Should you buy it? Yes and no. If you have a good, legitimate, valid reason, or you just love wasting money and you're cool with that, you just love having cool collections and expensive binders, whatever vague, thin, or logical reason I haven't hit on yet that you have to buy it, is it good to buy it if you have a reason to buy it? Absolutely. In every way, right now, for this price and at this quality and for the future, everything considered, it is a fantastic buy. You absolutely should. But for the typical person, no, just buy the singles. I mean, the answer is always buy the singles. So unless it's coming out of your gambling budget or whatever, I mean, I can't really recommend it to the average person. But that said, it's not going to stop people. If somebody's like, oh, I didn't know I had an extra 20 in my pocket, and they're sitting there at F&M, and then they went 0-4 and didn't get any prizes, they're like, you know what? Let's buy a booster. Hell, I just dropped 13 grand on Ultimate Masters boxes, and I'm probably going to buy a booster tomorrow at F&M. It's a social thing. It's people crowding around to see what you get, and then everybody parties if you get a crazy good card. I get it. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, and there's way stupider shit you can buy than a pack or 2 or 3 or 4 or box of Ultimate Masters. So I'm not telling you, oh, you're a terrible person and you're doing it wrong if you're buying them because you don't specifically need the cards and don't know what's in them. That's just stupid. Like, it's the logical answer, but like, do whatever you want. Like, I'm not going to be the wet blanket about buying this stuff. But there is an alternative. You could just come to my stream and watch me get kicked square in the nuts. Just kidding. I actually had pretty good average pulls this time around, and oh my god, that first box, holy crap. But what you didn't see is the three boxes actually, but specifically two that I opened at my work today. I did film it. I might put together, what would this be called? A low light reel? Because it's certainly not a highlight reel. That would be a misnomer. It's a low light reel of me opening, I think, about a $130 box, and the other one maybe cleared 200, maybe. And the box toppers were horrific. I think I compared them to a kick in the nuts twice and said they can't possibly get me with the third box because I'm out of balls for them to kick. Okay, Wizards, whoever at your company decided to put Lava Claw as a fucking box topper, if I can't have kids after you squarely kick me in the nuts twice, I'm taking yours, okay? Just kidding. I hate kids. I'm alright 31. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. Especially since Lady Luck keeps kicking me in the nuts with her steel-toed boots. So those boxes weren't great. And remember, it can happen to you too. So my viewers are like, but I'm a female. You're getting kicked in the face then. It's not as bad, but it's bad. Anyway, that's my absolute final answer on this. I guess we'll see within a week or two if I am right about where the prices are going. And we're all holding our breath in the entire industry and everyone to see if a second wave is coming. I wouldn't put it past them. I just think it's slightly less likely than more likely. But hit that subscribe button on my channel to stay tuned for any kind of updates surrounding Ultimate Masters and anything else going on in the world of Wizards of the Coast. And I will see you guys next video. Also, go sub to Desolator Gaming. I actually uploaded a video for once.